The lights flickered on the bridge of the Velthari ship. Captain Nyses pressed her long, crystal-like fingers against the control panel. The blue glow from her skin was getting weaker. She was tired, and the ship was dying. "Captain, the energy?" "Core is failing," Engineer Keth said from his station. His voice was calm, but Nyses could hear the fear underneath. "We have maybe 6 hours before everything stops working." Nyses looked around the bridge. The walls were made of smooth, white metal that used to shine like mirrors. Now they were dull and cracked. Green liquid leaked from broken pipes. The air smelled bad, like burning plastic mixed with something sweet and sick. Navigator Zephy's worked at her station, her forearms moving quickly across the floating displays. "Captain, I have bad news. We are too far from any Velthari worlds. Even if we sent a message now, help would take weeks to reach us." Medical Officer Kess looked up from his scanner. "A toxic gas leak is getting worse. The air filters cannot clean it fast enough. We will all be dead in 12 hours, maybe less." The 4 Velthari stood in silence. They were tall and thin, with skin that looked like blue glass. Their people had traveled the stars for thousands of years. They had built cities that floated in space and machines that could think faster than any living brain. But now, in this broken ship floating between the stars, all their advanced technology meant nothing. "There must be something we can do," Keth said. He moved to another control panel and started working. His hands shook as he tried to reroute power from less important systems. "Maybe if we shut down the gravity generators and the food makers, ... We already tried that," Nyses said quietly. "Face the truth, old friend. We are going to die out here." Kess walked over to a window and looked out at the stars. "My grandfather used to tell stories about the old days when Velthari ships sometimes broke down far from home. Back then, other species would help if they could. But those days are long gone." "Other species are too primitive to help us now," Zephy said. "Our technology is far beyond anything they understand." "What could they do that we cannot?" Nyses nodded. It was true. The Velthari were the most advanced species in this part of the galaxy. They had learned to bend space itself to travel between stars. They had machines that could build anything from pure energy. They had cured every disease and lived for hundreds of years. What about the humans? Keth asked suddenly. The others looked at him like he had said something crazy. "The humans?" Nyses laughed, but there was no joy in it. Those violent children who just learned to leave their homeworld 50 years ago? What could they possibly do? "Nothing," Zephy said. "I have read the reports. They fight wars over tiny pieces of land. They burn their own planet's air to make energy. They die after only 100 years. They are barely more than animals." Kess shook his head. "I heard they do not even have proper medical scanners. They cut open bodies with metal knives to fix problems inside. It is barbaric. Still," Keth said, "they do have ships. Maybe their ships are made of simple metal and run on chemical." "Explosions," Nyses interrupted. "They would take months to reach us, even if they wanted to help, which they would not. Humans only care about themselves." Another alarm started beeping. The lights flickered again, staying off for several seconds before coming back on. Everyone knew what that meant. The ship was dying faster now. "We should at least try to send a distress call," Keth said. "What do we have to lose?" "Our dignity," Zephy's muttered. But Nyses was thinking. She had been a ship captain for over 60 years. She had seen many strange things in space. Sometimes, when everything seemed hopeless, unexpected help came from the most unlikely places. "Do it," she said finally. "Send the distress call on. All frequencies. Every species in this region should hear it." Keth moved to the communications station. His fingers danced over the controls. "Broadcasting now, Captain. I am sending our location, the nature of our emergency, and a request for immediate assistance." The message went out into space at the speed of light. It would take hours to reach the nearest systems where other species might hear it, but the Velthari did not have hours. "Now we wait," Nyses said. "And prepare to die with honor," Kess added quietly, far away. In a completely different part of space, Lieutenant Commander Park Dae-ho was having a good day. His small human ship, Soul's Pride, had just finished mining valuable metals from an asteroid field. The cargo hold was full, and they were heading home to Earth. "Sir, we are picking up something strange," said Kim So-ra from the communications station. She was young, maybe 25 years old, with short black hair and quick, smart eyes. "It sounds like a distress call, but it is not in any human language. Put it on speakers," Dae-ho said. He was older, maybe 40, with gray starting to show in his black hair. He had been in space for 15 years and had seen many things. Strange, musical sounds filled the bridge of the human ship. The alien words were beautiful but sad, like a song about death. "Can you translate it?" Dae-ho asked. So-ra worked at her station. "The computer is trying, sir. It says, yes, here it is. They are asking for help. Their ship is broken and they are dying." "Where are they?" "About 6 hours away at full speed." Chief Petty Officer Lee Hyun-woo looked up from his engineering station. He was a big man with rough hands and a kind face. "Sir, that would use a lot of fuel. We would barely make it back to Earth after helping them." "And they might be dangerous," added Ensign Choi Min-ji from the medical station. She was small and serious, always worried about keeping everyone safe. Dae-ho thought for a moment. He looked at the star map, showing their position and the location of the alien ship. It was far out of their way. Helping would cost them time and fuel they could not easily spare. "What species are they?" he asked. So-ra checked her computer. "Velthari, sir. The database says they are very advanced, but, well, they think humans are primitive and violent. They usually avoid contact with us. So they probably would not help us if we were in trouble," Hyun-woo said. "Probably not," Dae-ho agreed. The bridge was quiet. Everyone waited to see what their captain would decide. Outside the windows, stars shined in the endless black of space. Somewhere out there, 4 alien beings were slowly dying in their broken ship. "Change course," Dae-ho said finally. "Set course for their location, maximum speed." "Sir?" So-ra asked, surprised. "No one dies alone in space if I can help it," Dae-ho said. "It does not matter what they think of us. It does not matter if they would help us. They need help, and we can give it. That is enough." The Soul's Pride turned toward the alien ship, its engines burning bright in the darkness. The Soul's Pride moved through space like a metal arrow. Its engines pushed the small human ship faster than it was supposed to go. In the engine room, Hyun-woo watched the power readings with worried eyes. "The engines are running too hot," he told Dae-ho over the radio. "If we keep this speed for much longer, something might break. How much longer can we push it?" Dae-ho asked from the bridge. "Maybe 2 hours. After that, we risk losing the engines completely." Dae-ho looked at the navigation display. They still needed 4 hours to reach the alien ship. "Keep pushing. We will worry about the engines later." So-ra turned from her station. "Sir, I am still getting signals from the alien ship, but they are getting weaker. I think their communication system is failing. Are they still alive?" "Yes, but barely. Their life support is almost gone." Min-ji checked her medical supplies. "I have medicine and equipment for humans, but I do not know if any of it will work on aliens. Their bodies might be completely different from ours." "We will figure it out when we get there," Dae-ho said. On the Velthari ship, things were getting much worse. The air was thick with toxic gas now. Kes had given everyone breathing masks, but the masks were running out of clean air too. "Captain," Kes said weakly. He was sitting on the floor now, too tired to stand. "The communication array just died." "We cannot send any more signals?" Isis nodded. She felt dizzy and sick. The blue glow of her skin was almost gone now. "At least we tried?" "We die knowing we did everything we could." "I am getting strange readings," Zephy said from her station. She was the youngest of them, only 60 years old. "There is a ship coming toward us?" "Impossible," Kes said. "No one would come this far to help strangers. The readings are clear. It is a small ship, moving very fast. It will be here in less than 2 hours." Isis forced herself to stand up. What kind of ship? Velthari? Zephy's checked her scanner again. Her four hands shook as she worked. No, Captain. The design is ... primitive, simple metal construction. Chemical rockets for engines. It looks like... Like what? Like a human ship. The bridge went silent except for the sound of their breathing masks and the beeping of broken machines. A human ship? Keth whispered. But why would humans come to help us? Maybe they want to steal our technology, Keth suggested. What technology? Dices laughed bitterly. Everything is broken. There is nothing left to steal. Zephy's looked at her scanner again. They are pushing their engines very hard. Harder than their ships are designed to handle. They might damage their own ship trying to reach us quickly. That makes no sense, Keth said. Why would they risk their own ship for us? None of them had an answer on the Soul's Pride alarms. Were starting to sound. The engines were running beyond their safety limits. Sir, we have to slow down, Hyun-woo called from the engine room. The containment field is starting to fail. If it breaks completely, we could lose the whole ship. Dae-ho looked at the time. They were still 1 hour away from the alien ship. Give me everything you can, Hyun-woo. Just 1 more hour. I will try, sir. But I cannot promise anything. So Ra was working with her computers, trying to learn more about the alien ship. Sir, I found more information about the Velthari. They are very proud of their advanced technology. Our databases say they think humans are too primitive to be worth talking to. And now they are about to be saved by primitive humans, Minji said with a small smile. If we can save them, Dae-ho reminded her. We still do not know what is wrong with their ship or if we can fix it. We will find a way, Hyun-woo said over the radio. His voice was confident even though his engines were screaming. We always do. The Velthari were getting weaker. The toxic gas was winning the fight against their breathing masks. Dices could barely keep her eyes open. Captain, Zephy said softly, the human ship is trying to talk to us. Put it through, Dices whispered. Strange sounds came from their speakers. The human language sounded harsh and simple compared to the musical tones of Velthari speech. Can you understand them? Kess asked. The computer is translating, Zephy said. They are asking about our condition. They want to know how to help us. Dices felt a strange emotion she had never experienced before. These primitive humans, these violent children who barely knew how to travel between stars, were asking how they could help. They were not demanding anything in return. They were not trying to take advantage of the situation. They just wanted to help. Tell them ... The does. Started, then stopped. Her pride fought with her need to survive. All her life, she had been taught that Velthari were superior to other species. Asking for help from humans felt like admitting that everything she believed was wrong. Tell them what, Captain? Zephy's asked. Dices closed her eyes. When she opened them again, she had made her decision. Tell them we are dying. Tell them our energy core has failed and our life support is poisoning us. Tell them. She paused. Tell them we need their help. Zephy sent the message. A few minutes later, the human ship replied. They say they will be here in 40 minutes, Zephy's translated. They are asking for permission to dock with our ship. Do we have a choice? Keth asked weakly. No, Dices sighed. We do not. The Soul's Pride appeared on their screens like a shooting star. It was much smaller than the Velthari ship, and it looked rough and simple. But it was beautiful to them because it meant they might live. The human ship moved carefully toward them. Its pilot was skilled, bringing the two ships together in a delicate dance. There was a soft bump as the docking tubes connected. They are requesting permission to come aboard, Zephy said. Dices looked around at her crew. They were all dying. But they were still proud Velthari. These humans were about to see their advanced civilization at its weakest moment. Open the airlock, she said. The first human through the door was bigger than Dices had expected. Hyun-woo wore a simple work suit and carried a bag of tools. His face was kind but serious. Behind him came a smaller human, Minji, carrying medical equipment. The two humans looked around the bridge of the alien ship. Their eyes were wide with wonder. They had never seen technology like this, even if it was broken. Wow, Hyun-woo said. Quietly, Minji knelt down next to Keth, who was lying on the floor. She pulled out a small scanner and waved it over his body. His breathing is bad, but he is alive. I can help him. Hyun-woo was already looking at the broken systems. This is incredible, he said to himself. I have never seen power systems like this. Daises watched the humans work. They moved quickly but carefully. They were not afraid, even though they were surrounded by alien technology they did not understand. Can you fix our ship? She asked in broken human language. Hyun-woo looked up at her. His face was honest and determined. I do not know yet, but I promise we will try everything we can. For the first time in hours, Daises felt something she had almost forgotten, hope. Minji worked quickly to help engineer Keth. She put a clear mask over his face that pumped clean oxygen from her portable tank. The alien's blue skin slowly became brighter as he breathed the pure air. This is amazing, Keth whispered in wonder. Such a simple solution, but it works perfectly. Minji smiled. Sometimes simple is better. Your breathing is getting stronger already. Meanwhile, Hyun-woo stood in front of the Velthari energy core, scratching his head. The machine was as tall as 3 humans and covered with flowing lines of light that pulsed weakly. It was the most beautiful and complex thing he had ever seen. I have never seen anything like this, he admitted to Captain Daises. How does it work? Daises felt embarrassed. How could she explain quantum energy manipulation to someone whose people still burned fossil fuels? It takes energy from the space between atoms and turns it into power for the ship. Hyun-woo nodded like that made perfect sense. Okay, so it is like a generator, but much more advanced. What happens when it breaks? The quantum field collapses and cannot be restarted, Daises explained. It needs rare crystals that we do not have, and the quantum matrix must be rebuilt from the beginning. Hyun-woo said. He walked around the machine, looking at it from different angles. But you still need power, right? Just regular electrical. Power to run the ship? Yes, but without the quantum core, we cannot generate enough energy. Hyun-woo opened his tool bag and pulled out what looked like a child's toy compared to the elegant Velthari technology. It was a simple fusion battery, the kind human ships used for backup power. What if we do not try to fix your system? He suggested, what if we just give your ship power from the outside? Daises stared at him. You want to power our ship with that tiny battery? Not just one. I have 12 of these in my ship, and I can wire them together to make a bigger power source. Engineer Keth, feeling better now that he could breathe, struggled to sit up. Impossible. Human power systems are not compatible with our technology. The energy frequencies are completely different. Hyun-woo smiled. You are right. Your systems expect one kind of power, and mine make a different kind. So I need to build a converter. A converter? Daises asked. Something that takes my power and changes it into the kind your ship can use? Hyun-woo was already pulling cables and strange devices from his bag. I do this all the time when I connect different types of mining equipment. The Velthari watched in horrified fascination as the human began taking apart some of their control panels. His tools were crude hammers and screwdrivers instead of the precision energy shapers they were used to. Stop! Keth cried weakly. You are destroying our systems. I am not destroying them, Hyun-woo said calmly. I am just making them work with what we have. Look, see this beautiful circuit board? I am not changing it. I am just adding a simple connection here that will let it talk to my power converter. Meanwhile, Daeho and Sora had come aboard the alien ship. Sora was working on their communication problems while Daeho helped coordinate the rescue. Your communication system is incredible, Sora told Navigator Zephyrs. It can send messages across the galaxy instantly, but it needs perfect conditions. To work, yes, Zephyr said sadly. When anything breaks, the whole system stops working. Sora plugged a simple human radio into the alien communication console. This is much simpler. It is not as powerful as your system, but it works even when things are broken. She turned on the radio, and suddenly they could hear voices from ships light years away. The Velthari stared in amazement as the primitive human device did something their advanced technology could not. But how? Zephyr asked. Our system is far more sophisticated. Sometimes sophisticated things break more easily, so Ra explained. Our radio is simple, so there are fewer things that can go wrong with it. Back at the energy core, Hanwoo had connected several cables between the alien systems and a collection of human batteries. The Velthari technology looked elegant and smooth, while the human equipment looked like it was built in someone's garage. This looks terrible, Captain Nizes said. But does it work? Hanwoo asked. He flipped a switch on his power converter. Lights came on all over the Velthari ship. Not the soft, blue glow they were used to, but bright white human-style lights. The air recycling system hummed to life, and the toxic gas began to clear. It works, Keth whispered in amazement. The primitive human solution actually works. It is not pretty, Hyen-Woo admitted, but it will keep you alive until you can get to a proper repair station. Minji had been busy too. She had found the source of the toxic gas leak and sealed it with a simple human patch kit. The kind of thing human miners used to fix holes in their spacesuits. Your hull material is incredible, she told Medical Officer Kess. Much stronger than anything humans can make, but when it breaks, you need special tools to fix it. She showed him the patch, made of simple human plastics and metals. This is not as good as your original hull, but it will hold until you can get proper repairs. Kess touched the ugly patch that was keeping poison gas from killing them all. I do not understand. How did you know this would work? I did not know, Minji said honestly. But I had to try something. Sometimes you have to use what you have, not what you wish you had. The Velthari crew looked around their ship. It was still damaged, but it was no longer dying. The lights were on, the air was clean, and the communication systems worked. None of the repairs were beautiful or elegant, but they all worked. I do not understand, Captain Nizes said to Daeho. Your technology is so much simpler than ours. How can it solve problems that our advanced systems cannot? Daeho thought for a moment. Your technology is like a beautiful watch. When it works, it is perfect. But if one tiny part breaks, the whole thing stops working. Our technology is like a hammer. It is not beautiful, but it is hard to break, and you can use it to fix many different things. But surely advanced technology is better than primitive technology, Navigator Zephy said. Different technology is good for different things, Sora explained. Your communication system is amazing when everything is perfect. Our radio is better when things are broken. Your energy core is incredibly powerful when it has the right fuel. Our batteries are better when you are far from home and need something that just works. Hanwoo was packing up his tools. The power converter will work for several months, he told them. It is not a permanent solution, but it will get you home safely. Why did you help us? Captain Nizes asked suddenly. Your own people say we? Think humans are primitive. We have never helped you. Why did you risk your ship and your lives for us? Daeho looked surprised by the question. Because you needed help, and we could give it. What other reason do we need? But you gain nothing from helping us. We gain the knowledge that 4 people who were dying are now going to live, Daeho said simply. That is enough. The Velthari looked at each other. In their advanced civilization, people did not help strangers without expecting something in return. The idea of risking your own life just to help someone else was completely foreign to them. There is something wrong with our thinking, Engineer Keth said quietly. These humans are not primitive at all. They are something else, something we do not understand. Captain Nizes nodded slowly. She was beginning to realize that maybe being advanced was not just about having the best technology. Maybe it was also about how you treated others, especially those who could not help you back. The human crew prepared to return to their own ship. The Soul's Pride had suffered some engine damage from pushing so hard to reach them, but Hyen-Woo thought he could fix it. Thank you, Captain Nizes said, as they prepared to leave. I do not know how to repay this debt. There is no debt, Deho said. Just remember this moment if you ever find someone else who needs help. As the humans prepared to leave, Captain Nizes made a decision that would change everything. Wait, she called out. Do not leave yet. I want you to come with us. Come. With you where? Deho asked. To Velthari space? To our home worlds. My people need to meet you. They need to learn what we have learned today. The journey to Velthari space took 3 days. The two ships traveled together, the elegant alien vessel and the rough human mining ship. Captain Nizes insisted that the Soul's Pride travel beside them as an honored guest, not behind them like a servant. During the journey, something unexpected happened. The two crews began to work together. That started when the Velthari ship's navigation system began acting strangely. The quantum sensors that guided them through space started giving wrong readings. The quantum field is being disturbed by something. Navigator Zephy's reported to her captain. I cannot get accurate readings. We might get lost. Captain Nizes was about to suggest they stop and wait for the sensors to work properly when Deho's voice came over the radio. We are seeing the same problem with our navigation, he said, but our backup systems are still working. Our simple star charts and gravity sensors do not depend on quantum fields. We can guide both ships until your systems work again. And so the primitive human ship led the advanced alien vessel through space, using star maps that look like drawings. Compared to the Velthari's complex quantum displays, how can their simple charts be more accurate than our quantum sensors? Engineer Keth asked. Because sometimes simple works better, Captain Nizes said. She was learning to say this phrase often. The problems kept coming. And each time, the humans found solutions that surprised the Velthari. When the alien ship's food makers broke down, the humans shared their simple rations. The food was not elegant or perfectly nutritious like Velthari cuisine, but it tasted good and kept everyone healthy. Your food has too much salt and fat, Medical Officer Kess complained. But it makes you happy when you eat it, Minji pointed out. Sometimes happiness is more important than perfect nutrition. Kess had to admit she was right. The simple human. Food somehow made him feel better than the perfectly balanced Velthari meals he was used to. When the ship's cleaning systems failed and garbage started piling up, Han Wu showed them how to sort the waste and recycle it using basic chemistry. Your cleaning systems are amazing when they work, he told Keth. They can turn any waste into pure energy. But when they break, you have a big problem. Our way is slower, but we can always do it, even with broken equipment. The most important moment came on the second day, when the ship's hull started cracking. Again, the stress of the emergency repairs and the long journey was putting too much pressure on the patched areas. The patches are holding, Minji reported after checking them, but the hull around them is starting to weaken. If we do not fix this, the whole section could break apart. The Velthari looked at the problem and felt hopeless. The hull was made of quantum-forged crystal metal that could only be repaired with technology they did not have. We are still 2 days from home, Captain Nizes said sadly. The hull will not last that long. But Haiyan Wu was studying the cracks with interest. What if we do not try to fix the hull? He suggested. What do you mean? Keth asked. What if we make the hull stronger? By adding support from the outside? He explained his idea. Using the mining equipment from the Soul's Pride, they could attach metal supports to the outside of the Velthari ship. The supports would not be pretty, but they would hold the damaged hull together. You want to attach primitive human metal to our advanced hull? Navigator Zephy's asked in horror. It will look terrible, Haiyan Wu admitted, but it will work. Captain Nizes looked at the cracks spreading across her beautiful ship. Do it, she said. The next few hours were like nothing the Velthari had ever experienced. The human crew put on spacesuits and went outside their ships. Using welding tools and metal brackets, they built a framework around the damaged parts of the alien vessel. They are risking their lives in open space to save our ship, Kess observed as he watched through a window. Yes, Captain Nizes said. Quietly, they are. When the work was finished, the Velthari ship looked very different. The smooth, elegant hull was now covered with rough human metal supports. It looked like a beautiful building with ugly scaffolding around it, but it worked. The hull stopped cracking and the ship was safe again. "I do not understand humans," Engineer Keth said as they watched the human crew putting away their tools. "They work so hard to help us, but they get nothing in return. Their own ship is damaged from pushing too hard to reach us. They have used their supplies to fix our problems. They have risked their lives in space to save our hull. What do they gain from all this?" Captain Theises had been thinking about the same question. I asked their captain that same thing. Do you know what he said? What? He said they gain the knowledge that people who were dying are now going to live. He said that is enough. The Valthari crew was quiet for a long time. "There is something we have been wrong about," Medical Officer Kess said finally. "We always thought that being advanced meant having the best technology and the most knowledge. But maybe being advanced means something else." "What do you mean?" Navigator Zephy's asked. "Maybe being advanced means caring about others even when they cannot help you back. Maybe it means working hard to solve problems even when the solutions are not elegant. Maybe it means risking yourself to save strangers." Captain Theises nodded. "These humans are not primitive at all. They are something we have forgotten how to be." On the third day, they reached the edge of Valthari space. Captain Theises sent a message ahead to the authorities, requesting permission for the human ship to enter their territory. The reply came back quickly and was not friendly. "Permission denied," the message said. "Humans are not welcome in Valthari space. They are a primitive, violent species that cannot be trusted." Captain Theises stared at the message in anger. "Primitive? Violent? These humans saved our lives." She sent another message, explaining what had happened. The reply was even worse. "Impossible," the authorities said. "Primitive human technology cannot solve problems that advanced Valthari systems cannot. You must be confused from your injuries. Return to base immediately for medical treatment. The human ship must leave our space at once." Captain Theises felt something she had never felt before. She felt ashamed of her own people. "What are you going to do?" Engineer Keth asked. Captain Theises looked out at the Soul's Pride with its rough hull and simple design. The ship that had saved their lives? The ship crewed by people who had risked everything for strangers. "I am going to teach my people what these humans taught me," she said. "Even if they do not want to learn." She opened a communication channel to every Valthari ship and station in the area. "This is Captain Theises of the research vessel Valthari Dream," she announced. "I am traveling with human allies who saved my crew from certain death. Any Valthari who interferes with these humans will answer to me personally." The radio was quiet for a moment. Then Deho's voice came through from the Soul's Pride. "Captain Theises, you do not have to do this for us. We can leave if it causes problems for you." "No," Captain Theises said firmly. "You are coming with us. My people are going to meet you, and they are going to learn what I learned. They are going to learn what it really means to be advanced." The two ships continued into Valthari space, the beautiful alien vessel and the ugly human mining ship traveling together as equals. The Valthari home station was a beautiful sight. It floated in space like a crystal flower, with towers that spiraled up toward the stars and bridges that curved gracefully between them. Millions of Valthari lived and worked there, their blue glowing forms moving through transparent tubes and floating platforms. But as the two ships approached, Captain Theises could see that her people were not happy about their human guests. Valthari security ships surrounded them, their weapons powered but not aimed directly at the Soul's Pride. The message was clear: the humans were not welcome. But they would be tolerated because Captain Theises had demanded it. "Impressive station," Deho said over the radio. "Your people are amazing builders." "Thank you," Captain Theises replied, but she felt embarrassed. Her people were treating their rescuers like enemies. The docking process was tense. The Valthari authorities wanted to put the human ship in the cargo area like it was carrying dangerous materials. Captain Theises insisted it be given an honored berth reserved for important diplomatic visitors. "Those humans are not diplomats," the docking controller argued. They are primitive miners. Those primitive miners saved my life and the lives of my crew, Captain Nices said coldly. They will be treated with the respect they have earned. As they docked, crowds of Velthari gathered to stare at the ugly human ship. They pointed at the rough metal hull and the simple engines, whispering to each other about how crude and barbaric it looked. Compared to their own elegant vessels, Captain Nices led the human crew through the station. Everywhere they went, Velthari stopped what they were doing to stare. Some looked curious, but many looked disgusted or afraid. Why do they look at us like that? Minji asked quietly. Because they have never seen humans before, Captain Nices explained. And they have been taught that your people are violent and dangerous. Are we really the first humans to come here? Sora asked. Yes, my people do not usually allow other species into our space. They think contact with primitive cultures will make us less advanced. Deho looked around at the beautiful crystal walls and floating walkways. Your people have built something amazing here. But maybe being advanced is not just about the buildings you create. Captain Nices nodded. She was beginning to understand what he meant. They were taken to the council chamber, where the wisest and most important Velthari made decisions for their entire civilization. The chamber was a perfect sphere made of transparent crystal, floating in the center of the station. Inside, 12 ancient Velthari sat in chairs that hovered in a circle. Council leader Vash spoke first. She was very old, even for a Velthari, and her blue glow was so bright it hurt to look directly at her. Captain Nices, she said in a voice like musical crystal, you have brought primitive aliens into our sacred space. Explain yourself. Captain Nices stood straight and proud. These humans saved my crew when we were dying. They risked their own lives and damaged their own ship to help complete strangers. They asked for nothing in return. Impossible, said Council Member Drex. Our reports clearly state that humans are selfish and violent. They would not help anyone unless they expected to gain something from it. Your reports are wrong, Captain Nices said simply. The council chamber went silent. No one had ever told the Velthari Council they were wrong about anything. Perhaps you should let the humans speak for themselves, suggested Council Member Yith, who was younger than the others and seemed more curious than afraid. Deho stepped forward. Honored Council, we did not come here to ask for anything or to prove anything. We came because Captain Nices invited us. We are happy to leave if our presence causes problems. Why did you help them? Council Leader Vash demanded. What did you hope to gain? Nothing, Deho said honestly. They needed help, and we could give it. That seemed like reason enough. But your ship was damaged helping them. You used your supplies to fix their problems. You gained nothing and lost much. This makes no sense. Engineer Keth stepped forward from where he had been standing with the other Velthari crew members. Council Leader, may I speak? You may. I have seen these humans work. I have watched them risk everything to save strangers. At first I thought they were foolish, but now I think we are the foolish ones. The council members looked shocked. Keth was a respected engineer, not someone who usually said controversial things. Explain yourself, Council Leader Vash commanded. Our technology is more advanced than theirs, Keth continued. Our cities are more beautiful, our knowledge is greater. But when everything was falling apart, when our advanced systems had failed, and we were going to die, it was their simple solutions that saved us. He gestured toward Haiyanwu. This human fixed our power systems with batteries and cables. Not elegant, but it worked. Their medic sealed our hull with simple patches. Not beautiful, but it kept us alive. Simple solutions are still primitive. Council Member Drex insisted. Are they? Captain Nices asked. When our quantum communication array failed, their simple radio still worked. When our navigation sensors were confused, their basic star charts guided us home. When our hull was cracking, their ugly metal supports held us together. She looked around the crystal chamber at the faces of the most powerful Velthari in the galaxy. Maybe we have been measuring advancement wrong, she continued. Maybe it is not about having the most complex technology or the most beautiful cities. Maybe it is about being able to solve problems when everything goes wrong. Maybe it is about helping others even when they cannot help you back. Navigator Zephy stepped forward. Council leader, during our journey here, I studied human history. Do you know what I found? Tell us. Humans fight wars, yes. But they also run into burning buildings to save strangers. They jump into dangerous water to rescue people who are drowning. They share food with hungry people they have never met. They have a word for this, compassion. We do not have this word in our language because we do not have this concept. Medical Officer Kest joined his crewmates. Their medicine is simple compared to ours, but they have something we do not. They have doctors who work for free in poor areas. They have people who donate parts of their own bodies to heal strangers. They care for sick people even when those people cannot pay them. The council was quiet for a long moment. Finally, young Council member Yith spoke. If this is true, then perhaps we should learn from these humans instead of avoiding them. Learn from primitives? Council member Drex asked in shock. Learn from people who know things we do not know, Captain Nices corrected. Things that might be more important than quantum physics or crystal engineering. Council leader Vash studied the human crew for a long time. What would you teach us? She asked finally. Deho looked surprised. We are not teachers. We are just miners and engineers. But if you want to know what we think that taking care of each other is the most important thing any civilization can do. Even taking care of strangers? Vash asked. Especially taking care of strangers, Minji said. Anyone can help their friends or family. But when you help someone who means nothing to you, someone who cannot help you back, that is when you show what kind of person you really are. At that moment, alarms began ringing throughout the station. Emergency lights flashed and a voice announced over the communication system, distress signal received. Unknown vessel requesting immediate assistance. All rescue ships report to Docking Bay 7. The Velthari Council looked at each other uncertainly. Normally, they would ignore a distress call from an unknown species. It was not their problem, but Captain Nises was already moving toward the exit. Come on, she said to her crew. We have work to do. Where are you going? Council leader Vash called after her. To help someone who needs it, Captain Nises replied. The human crew followed her without question. Behind them, the Velthari Council members looked at each other in confusion and wonder. Should we go too? Young Council member Yeath asked. Council leader Vash thought for a moment. Then, for the first time in her very long life, she stood up from her floating chair. Yes, she said. I think we should. Soon, both ships were flying through space again, the Velthari vessel with its crystal hull supported by ugly human metal. Brackets and the Soul's Pride with its rough but reliable design. Behind them came 3 more Velthari ships carrying council members who had never been on a rescue mission before. There, Sora announced over the radio. I see the distress signal. It is coming from that small ship near the asteroid field. What species? Captain Nices asked. Unknown. But they are definitely in trouble. Deho's voice came over the communication channel. Well, let us go see if we can help. As the small fleet of ships changed course toward the unknown vessel in distress, Captain Nices smiled. Her people were finally learning what it meant to be truly advanced. It was not about having the best technology or the most beautiful cities. It was about being the kind of people who would fly through dangerous space to help complete strangers, simply because it was the right thing to do, and maybe, just maybe, that was the most important lesson any civilization could learn.